That's odd. I don't remember locking this.
You wouldn't happen to remember if my aunt had a wind-up toy monkey at the yard sale?
Oh, not a cherished childhood memory now, was it?
No, 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 no!
So, there's yet another Stephen King adaptation, and the newest one is about a mother flippin' toy monkey. The monkey got me giggling, got me chuckling. There was even one part that got me so hard I was trying to hold in my laughter for about 3 minutes. The movie as a whole is pretty average, but the toy monkey itself is a pretty interesting concept, and yet no one really knows the origins of the monkey or specifically how Hal's dad got his hands on it. I'm about to give you a pretty good theory about the toy monkey that is worth thinking about. By the end of this video, you will have a broader knowledge of the world around King's work, as well as how Hal's dad got the monkey and how the monkey is able to disappear and reappear at will. Like and subscribe, please. One of the most unnerving elements of the toy monkey in King's work and also in the film adaptation is the complete lack of explanation regarding the monkey's origins. Unlike many of King's other cursed objects, such as Leland Gaunt's artifacts in Needful Things, or the Tommyknocker's innovative inventions that aren't used for anything other than their own personal desires, the monkey appears without a backstory. Its presence is a mystery even to its owners. It may be the case that the monkey isn't merely just a haunted toy, it's infused with fragments of something far more dangerous. The Toadash Space. Toadash Space is a concept introduced in the Dark Tower series, referring to the chaotic void that exists between worlds. It is home to monstrous, unknowable entities that exist beyond human perception. In King's mythos, the Toadash Space primarily contains monsters that are living, such as It, Lobstrosities, and Maturin, who is a wise 20 billion-year-old ancient turtle who acts as a guardian of the macroverse. The toy monkey, with its seemingly random yet inevitable pattern of causing death, bears all the hallmarks of a Toadash creature. When Hal chops him up, blood comes pouring out, which does mean the monkey is a living being. The way it repeatedly resurfaces, despite efforts to discard it, suggests that it's not just a physical object, but an entity with its own will, ensuring its cycle of death continues across generations. If the monkey indeed is from the Toadash Space, it would explain why the monkey's presence is felt even when it's not actively in use. At the beginning of the movie, Hal Shelburne senses the monkey's insidious nature long before he rediscovers it, almost as if it alerts a subconscious pull on him. And no matter how hard he tries, the monkey will always find its way back to his family. This type of anomaly brings me back to Leland Gaunt. Leland Gaunt is a major antagonist in the Stephen King multiverse, most notably in the novel called Needful Things. He seems like a charming old man at first, but it turns out he's actually just a demon in disguise. He opens a shop called Needful Things in Castle Rock, Maine, and his whole shtick is that he offers his customers objects in exchange for their souls. Usually the objects are useless and disguised as what the person wants most, but perhaps the monkey is an exception. The monkey never seems to deteriorate with time, appearing to be pristine and operational decades after its first known use. Unlike an ordinary haunted object, its life force is somehow attached to the Shelburne family. It is powered by something far more cursed in nature, something that doesn't obey the rules of our reality. In the adaptation, Hal finds the monkey among his father's belongings, but the story never says where it originally came from. This theory suggests that Hal's dad was in the US Navy and was stationed in Castle Rock, Maine, during the late 1940s. Castle Rock is where Leland Gaunt set up his shop to ensnare desperate souls. If Hal's dad spent any time in Castle Rock, it is entirely possible that he stumbled upon Needful Things in search for a souvenir for his sons. With this in mind, it's also possible that Leland Gaunt's shop is the location of Athene. In Stephen King's lore, Athene is where the fabric between our world and the Toadash Space is worn down thin. This is how the monkey escapes the Toadash Space and enters Leland Gaunt's shop. Hal's dad found the monkey in Needful Things and sold his soul to obtain it. After a while, Hal's dad started to realize the dark powers it possesses and tries to return it just like at the beginning of the movie. The only problem is that when he returns to the shop, it's just a regular shop with a regular guy working the register. This brings us to the events of the opening scene in the movie, where he tries to return it, but the guy says there's no refunds for toys. The monkey then kills the cashier and Hal's dad tries to burn it with a blowtorch. Since he sold his soul to obtain the monkey, he and his family are now cursed with it forever, which is why the monkey always finds its way back to the Shelburne family. This might be far-fetched, but this would explain why the Shelburnes are always going to be the owners of the monkey. A recurring theme in King's work is that some horrors never truly end. They merely hibernate, waiting for the right moment to return. This is particularly true for entities connected to the Toadash Space, which often they remain dormant until they feel like it. In the film, Hal believes that he successfully discards the toy. Yet it returns decades later when his aunt Ida gets stabbed in the face with fish hooks, gets her head set on fire, and gets stabbed in the face with the for sale sign. We know how the monkey can reappear whenever it likes, which is through the toad-ass space. But why did the monkey choose this exact moment to return to the family again? Well, it seems like the monkey is more attached to the family home than any particular person now. Whenever the monkey reappears, it's always back at the house. The movie does say that it's the Chinese year of the monkey when it returns, so maybe that's the only reason it needs to come back. It's also an entity that likes to do what it wants when it wants to do it, so maybe it doesn't need a reason at all to come back. Additionally, Stephen King's Dark Tower series does establish that there's some objects and some locations that exist on a fixed loop of fate, meaning that some events are doomed to repeat in slightly altered forms. The monkey's return suggests that it's a part of one such loop, where every single generation needs to be influenced by its horror. This could also explain its long wait to return, so that it always ensures that its deadly presence is never forgotten and continues. The monkey is a bringer of inevitable doom, an object that transcends time and logic, tied to something far more ancient and terrible than anyone realizes. If this theory is true, then the monkey is a manifestation of something more cosmic and malevolent, tied directly to King's mythos. It may be connected to the Dark Tower or even the unknowable horrors of the toad-ass space. Its ability to manipulate fate, its tendency to return despite being discarded, and its unnatural effect on those who come in contact with it are all reasons to believe it's from the toad-ass space and cursed by Leland Gaunt. The movie itself did lack in story structure and character motivations, but the monkey itself is a very interesting entity, and I thought that this video would help flesh out the mysteries behind it, even though this is just a theory. I've sought my thoughts, and if you want to see a theory on the Fantastic Four first steps, then click right up here, and I'll see you on the other side.